got a vet and an augur now.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that's us.
Looks like he has a crowbar.
Yeah. Maybe that is a Ruffian class. Oh my god.
This looks kind of like a regular guy. What is this? Oh, dual wield akimbo.
Real akimbo.
Akimbo.
Oh, okay, there it is. Yeah, it's really
Hive
short.
Scum. Okay, Hive Scum.
Hive Scum. Okay, and then some pictures here on Steam, on the Steam page that is already available. You see the first picture, she has like this made up, maybe makeshift melee.
Well, there's a picture where there's a Nurgle and she's holding like two akimbo wielding melee.
Yeah.
Of some sort, or maybe throwables. I don't know.
And then the next one, we see the akimbo pistols.
Akimbo pistols.
And I think these are the two new characters. The female version and the male version.
The male version.
So that means probably they're bringing new, like maybe faces, hairstyles, stuff like that too.
Definitely looks like different hairstyles.
Yeah. Oh, here, if you keep going, you can see two different girls and two different boys. Yeah, I don't remember seeing the hairstyle and the... Oh, the tattoos, oh, that looks new too. We had tattoos before, but this one looked brand new. So guys, today we are going to be talking about the new class announcement. We have what appears to be the Hive class, the Hive Scum class to be exact. And I remember some people saying that this might be the next class just because it kind of fits the Darktide theme. They are basically survivors that grew up in toxic air, polluted water, and constant gang warfare. Basically, they have to be really smart in the streets and resourceful to survive. Some of them are criminals, some of them are just trying to stay alive. There are some mercenaries and stuff like that. Overall, it looks like they have a huge knowledge of the Underhive. That will be the hidden tunnels and the black markets stuff from the Hive cities. And I will say, what we care about having this class in Darktide? Well, even if they are kind of like the scum of the Imperium, it looks like a lot of times they serve a purpose. They are often the first ones to deal with the Xenos infestations and some chaos in cults or suspicious shipsmen or stuff like that before the actual officials figure it out. So basically, they're considered the greedy, scrappy, and glamorous backbone of the Hive. In Darktide, we are playing as criminals, even if we prove ourselves throughout the main story of the game. So I guess, again, I think it kind of fits the narrative. One of the things though I wanted to highlight is one of the game designers said that after looking at builds from players, what people were doing, etc., they noticed that you can be really aggressive with, for example, with a Zealot and use melee and get really in their faces and tank a lot of damage and do a lot of damage, but they didn't have that version for range. Because usually when you're doing range, you have to kind of stay far from the enemy or you die in one hit, especially like in the higher difficulties. They didn't like that. They wanted to have that kind of class or build in the game. That's why they chose this specific class for it. They literally said that they wanted somebody that can just get there really hard, overwhelmingly close range gameplay, and be able to dodge their way out of the situation. Hopefully they have stuff in their builds, at least they said they do, that can help with the stamina, with the dodging, and overall be able to avoid damage.
One thing that they say here, like you had talked about, like the close range combat and being able to use range with that instead of melee. It says experts at fast-paced, frenzied gameplay. They're going to bring in several new and unique things to the table. So there's going to be some new unique features with these DLC characters. They talk about like the weapons that they have and what they use and whatever. But it also does say, we were kind of debating on it whether it was, well, we knew it was new, but it says they are bringing new faces, tattoos, hairstyles, and for the first time face paints to customize your characters. Now, I don't know, I would assume that's exclusive to this DLC. Maybe it's not, maybe it's just going to be in the game where you can use them on any of the classes, but I would assume it's specific for this operator. And then it also says it is releasing December 2nd, we knew that, and it's priced at the same price as the arbiter. So I think that was $12.
Yeah. They even give us a sneak peek on their talent trees. There's like these 3 different archetypes. The first one will be the Gunslinger. That will focus, like we say, about the really close range firepower combat and nimble dodging. Basically, run and gun playstyle. Number 2, I think we saw that in the trailer, will be the Ruffian. Well, basically the melee focus archetype. Probably similar to the Zealot, but I don't think they can just be there tanking damage like the Zealot sometimes can. And the last one, and in my opinion, kind of interesting because it's new to the game. New, quotation marks, new. Because we already have this in the game. We have the stems, but we randomly just find them in the maps, and we use them. Some are for health, some are for helping you to do more damage. It looks like this class, since they lived in this like toxic bottom of the Hive cities, they have an expertise on chemicals, basically. And they talk about how they're going to have 2 exclusive mechanics just for this class. One called the Chem Toxic and the STEM Labs.
Kind of going back over and looking a little bit deeper at what they said, the first thing I saw was for the Gunslinger, and you get a little early look at some of the talents that they'll have. One of them is in your face, and it's like you were saying, this is more for being close range with close quarters with range. It's in your face. Increased range damage at close range, which is further increased for a short while after reloading. And then the second one, like the wind, dramatically increased sprint, dodge angle, and sprint dodge even without stamina. So, you know, think Gunner or Psyker. When you run out of those dodges, it's just brutal. It's horrible. But it looks like here maybe there's going to be less fall off, and it'll just work better when you run out. I don't know if they'll have more. But it also says like the distance will be better. So I wonder if that'll be more similar to if you play Mortis Trials, one of the Minorises you get is to have a bigger dodge and a better dodge window. Maybe that'll be similar for the Gunslinger tree here for the HIVE SCUM. And then the last thing here that was kind of interesting to me interesting to us was the base combat ability Desperado. So immediately swap to and reload your ranged weapon, entering Desperado for a few seconds. During Desperado, the HIVE SCUM is immune to ranged attacks. Immune to ranged attacks. Sprinting costs no stamina, wow. And reloading does not reduce your ammo reserves. So that seems very, 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 very strong. I don't know if it will be. It seems strong, but sometimes things seem better in text than when you're actually doing them. You know, if you play on the hard difficulty like we do, the high ones, it's like there's a lot of enemies, so maybe it won't be as strong as it seems, but that definitely seems like an interesting combat ability. For the Ruffian, I think I mentioned it in Gunslinger, but it's actually down here. I was looking at all this and I kind of got mixed up, but Ruffian's the one with the dodges. We already talked about it a little bit, but you have, for talents, you get a little peek at the Nimble. Dodges move farther and last longer, and Hyper Violence. Upon melee kill, gain bonus melee damage based on amount of overkill damage. So that seems a little bit kind of like Until Death with the Zealot. I mean, it's not the same because it's like damage, but it's kind of the same as when based off the melee damage you do, you get health back. So it's kind of the same with that. But then I was saying how Nimble, the talent of Nimble, seems a little bit like the Minors, maybe kind of from Mortis Trials, where it's just a better window, bigger window, and you have a bigger dodge. So this tree, it might be really good, but I think this is the one I'm least interested in, because it seems, not that it's not good, it just doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't seem as new or as...
it feels like we have something like that in the game already, kind of. May not exactly the same, but it seems similar to something we have already, yeah.
It could be good, but it's just the least interesting to me. And then the third archetype here, the Chemist, we have 2 talents that they're showing us. Blessed Stems. While stemmed, killing blows clear some corruption. That's kind of interesting because at the higher difficulty, they've added a lot of stuff into the game to corrupt you really bad. And Targeted Toxin. Enemies infected with your Chem Toxin deal less damage, increased effect on monsters. So that's a little bit different. I'm kind of interested in this tree as well.
One of the things on this class that interests me the most is that we're going to get another thing that you can put down with their combat ability called Stem Supply. It says they have repurposed military gadgets to come up with customized medical crate that can be placed down on the ground, and it will be supported for your allies and grant effects with special stamp. I wonder if this is going to be connected with what they say on the top here, exclusive from this class, called the STEM lab. That I think they can, for what it sounds like, it looks like you can make your own STEM recipes to use in the missions, maybe?
I think that might be right. It's the last sentence of that is kind of weird. It says, this is a supportive ability, obviously, that grants nearby allies the effects of the HIVE SCUM's cartel special STEM. What is the special STEM?
Scroll up, and it's before the 3 archetypes we were looking at. It's called the STEM Lab, the Cartel Special.
Oh, okay.
This is a new exclusive mechanic to this class. So I feel like the archetype of the Chemist are going to benefit the most from this new mechanic they have.
Yeah, it says you gain 1 point to spend in the STEM Lab for every level. Picking up different bonuses to add to your cartel special, players who opt into making their custom. This just says they're custom. So yeah, that's definitely going to be involved with Chemist.
I mean, I would say there's some new mechanics, or like at least rework versions of the things we already have, like the STEM concept. With this new class, it doesn't feel as new as the Arbitrator. Like the Arbitrator gave us so much new stuff, like the doggy, or the class them being so different of what we had before in the game. Still were human-looking class, but their purpose in the game was completely different than the characters we already were using.
I think the HIVE SCUM fits the scenario, the theme that we have with Darktide, and remember that it is a Games Workshop, license, so the IP that they're using isn't theirs, so there's a certain amount that they can do. They can't just bring in whatever they want. They have to work with Games Workshop if they don't like it. I don't know Games Workshop. Some people were saying that they thought this delay, they were all blaming Fat Shark, and maybe it is Fat Shark's fault. I'm the first person to criticize them and not defend them, but some people were saying that they thought maybe this was a Games Workshop reasoning that it got delayed, and it very well could be. So I'm not defending them, I'm not attacking them either, but I don't know. And so they have to put something in the game that Games Workshop allows and that fits the game itself. So I think the HIVE SCUM does do that. I think there is quite a bit of new stuff with them. It's not like they're just bringing in another Zealot or another Vet. I think building them around Akimbo, because they said Akimbo one time. They didn't say Akimbo, they said dual hand wielding or something for the Augurin with like the pickaxe or something. I thought we were getting Akimbo, being able to hold them in both hands, and it wasn't that way. And they didn't lie about it, but the wording was kind of confusing. Well, now we actually get the Akimbo, and I think the STEM Lab, reading up about the STEM Lab, the Cartel Special, this big read up there. I think that's interesting, how you get that 1 point to spend in the STEM Lab for every level, and then you can maybe customize the stems, and then you can combine that with the one we were just talking about, the ability stem supply under Chemist. I think that is quite interesting. So I think there was a decent amount of work here. I think the Ruffian tree is maybe the least interesting to me and least original, but the other two are. So I'm still excited. I like Darktide, and when we get some new content like this, it's fun. It's $12. Yeah, maybe a little pricey, but they've given a lot of content for free too, so it's hard to complain too much. They haven't released too much paid for content. So overall, I think it's good. I think I would have liked to have seen something else, but that doesn't mean that I'm not excited for this and this won't be a great class.
Yeah, I guess I will wait until we actually can test the new class ourselves, because I don't want to be like all negative and think, oh, this is not interesting enough, or this is not what I was expecting. And then maybe the class is actually fun and powerful and brings something completely new to the gameplay that doesn't feel quite the same. But I know a lot of people are disappointed, and I kind of feel like that a bit too, because there was so many talks about the Raglins or something completely different. I don't know how many classes will fit the Darktide universe, because at the end of the day, we're still criminals. We are the bottom scam, so having the HIVE SCUM seems fitting for this game. So of course they're not going to bring Space Marines or something like that, but I guess it's new, it's good for the game to bring this content. I just think I'm going to wait and have my full review when I actually can play it, but for sure I will give it a chance. So that was everything for today's video, guys. Let us know down in the comments how you feel about this new class, and thank you so much for watching.